Hi, ladies. I'm Sue Kramer, and this week we're talking about delaying gratification. So, what does that even mean? Delaying gratification is the ability to resist the temptation of an immediate reward in favor of a larger and more enduring reward in the future. Okay. One of the keys to practicing delaying gratification is getting into a future mindset. It's thinking beyond the desires or cravings in the moment that we're in and expanding that perspective to see the big picture. Now, as I'm preparing this, I hear you and I hear myself saying, but what about the whole you need to be in the moment, embrace the moment, and we hear so much of that right now. Like, don't just think about tomorrow, think about today and be in the moment. And that's absolutely true. We want to embrace the moment, but we don't want to embrace the craving. Okay. So being present is not about giving in to temptation because it's what's happening right now. And I believe that we will start to enjoy being in the moment more when we feel good and are at peace in our mind and our body. Embracing a craving doesn't lead to peace. It never leads to peace. You get that momentary dopamine hit, and there's that feel good and that mouth feel, but it's quickly dissipated and it's quickly gone. And we've talked about the addiction cycle and how then that leads to regret and shame and the whole thing. Exposing a craving, though, for what it is in the moment, and it is part basically of our hedonistic lower brain whispering or even screaming at us to give in to temptation. Exposing that in the moment and resisting it is what brings peace. Okay. So, what does it look like to get into a future mindset? It looks like doing things for your future self. And that means asking yourself, what can I do today for future, insert your name? What can I do today for future Sue? And I literally think about future Sue quite often now. And I think of myself in that way about what is future Sue? What does she need? So start practicing this. And that means doing things like preparing the coffee pot. So all you have to do in the morning is press a button. And I'm sorry, my German Shepherd Nala wants to join in us. So she must have seen a squirrel out back. But doing things like preparing your coffee pot. So the night before, preparing that. So in the morning, all you have to do is press a button. Okay. Doing things like finishing the dishes before going to bed. Capping up your toothpaste after you use it, cleaning up the bathroom things, the makeup, putting them all away, actually doing that extra, finishing the laundry, the folding and the putting it away. A lot of times it's easy to do the laundry, but then it's that finishing that we kind of don't do. Doing those kind of things that later will make you feel good. Okay. Filling up that gas tank when it's half full. Doing these things that for our future self. So when you wake up that next morning, then, and you push that button on the coffee maker and that magic juice flows, you thank yourself, and you get in a habit of appreciating yourself for making decisions in the past. All right. I started doing this with my coffee maker and now it's a habit. I don't even have to think about it. It's part of my routine, but it's that act of then appreciating when you get in your car and there's still, instead of it being at empty, it's at half a tank and you go, oh, I have to fill it up. But you appreciate that. You appreciate yourself and say, I'm so glad I did that, and if it helps you to say, thank you, Sue, that you did that. And just getting in a mindset of doing things now that will benefit in the future and then acknowledging them in the future really solidifies that in our brain, and it adds feeling to the decisions. And adding feeling and emotions to our decisions is a powerful way to make a choice today that you'll feel good about tomorrow. Okay. So that was number one, is get that future mindset. Number two is I want you to think about the fact of when we think of delaying gratification, we think, well, but I'm then have to deprive myself of something. And we don't like the idea of deprivation. But here's the thing. We're always being deprived of something. When we deprive ourselves of the sweets and the treats, we're choosing health, life, and peace. Okay, so we're depriving ourselves right now, but we're going to have a reward later. However, when we choose the cheesecake and the chocolate chips and the nachos, whatever it is, we're depriving ourselves in the future of happiness and health and life and joy and peace. We are always depriving ourselves of something, always. So pick your pain. There is a pain of discipline and a pain of regret. Choose your pain. Choose what you want to deprive yourself of. If it's health or if it's the immediate moment of food, pick what you want to deprive yourself of and choose one that tomorrow is going to feel better. That delaying that gratification, like I said earlier, the ability to resist a temptation in an immediate reward in favor of a larger and more enduring reward in the future. The third thing about this is FOMO, fear of missing out. This comes up over and over, whether we're in a crowd or we're going somewhere, we're with our friends, we're out and we're like, well, I will be the only one not having a fancy fruity drink, or I will be the only one that's not having, it's that, and they're all getting to do this. And maybe this isn't even a crowd thing where anyone's pushing you to, but you're thinking, look at you, you get to eat all that and you're just fine. It's that I'm missing out on the pleasure that you're having right now. Okay. FOMO really gets in the way of delaying gratification because we want to not miss out in that moment. And we need to have a different mindset. But don't be surprised when this fear shows up. Often we feel that fear is telling us that something is wrong and we need to pay attention. So I should say, often when we feel fear, we think something's wrong. It's an indicator something's wrong and I need to pay attention. But in this case, FOMO, that fear is not an indicator that something is wrong. It's a sign that something is about to be uncomfortable. But it is also going to be a catalyst for the success in our lives. Okay. We need to see FOMO, fear of missing out, as an invitation, not a warning. It's an invitation to a life that we desperately want to live, but we keep getting talked out of because we're afraid we're going to miss something. This is where courage comes in. Courage to step up and say, I am going to make a choice that right now maybe nobody else is making, but I'm not going to miss out. Or what I am going to miss out on is actually detrimental to my health. And knowing that and thinking that through. FOMO plays a huge part in us not delaying gratification because we want that instant, immediate comfort. And our body, our brain, we don't like discomfort. So we're constantly fighting that until we get stronger and we've done it enough that it becomes habit. And we just have a different mindset that says life is bigger than this moment. And I'm choosing the bigger life. Okay. We think we need something now. If we don't get it now, we will miss out on something good for us, but it's actually the exact opposite. We can quiet that part of our brain by promising something better is coming, because it is. Life, health, peace, joy. Remember, you get stronger each time you choose to delay gratification and you make a decision to not immediately satisfy that craving. Delaying gratification is a powerful tool in reaching our goals. Don't let the moment get in the way of your end goal. And just remember that when you're in that time of craving and stuff, remember this is a moment. This is not forever. This is not everything. This is a moment. And if you say yes, those urges start to come back stronger. But if you say no, you weaken them and they are not as strong the next time. They get quieter and quieter each time. Every time you resist a craving, you get stronger. So celebrate that every time because you just got stronger. You did. Don't let discomfort, or don't see discomfort as a stop sign. All right. Discomfort means, okay, let's pay attention to what's happening here. Why am I about to feel uncomfortable? What am I really dealing with? Life is about stepping into things that we don't feel ready for. And so that whole idea of, you know what, I have to wait till I feel good enough to delay gratification. I need to wait till I'm really ready. You know what? This life is about stepping into those things that we don't feel ready for if we're going to be successful and we're going to grow. All right. And now the fourth thing I just want to touch on, as women who love the Lord and want to grow closer to Him, let's just be honest here. Instant gratification can be very much about hedonistic desires and gluttony. We have to look at that if as women of God, that we're also facing that. All right. Delaying gratification shows restraint and self-control, which is part of what we refer to as a fruit of the Spirit in Galatians 5. And I just want to read you this verse from the Message Bible. Galatians 5:22 and 23. But what happens when we live God's way? He brings gifts into our lives, much the same way that fruit appeared in an orchard. Things like affection for others, exuberance for life, serenity. I love that word. We develop a willingness to stick with things, a sense of compassion in the heart, and a conviction that a basic holiness permeates things and people. We find ourselves involved in loyal commitments, not needing to force our way into life. We're able to marshal and direct our energies wisely. Let's put our energies where they need to be make wise decisions about our energy and where it goes. And then it ends with legalism is helpless in bringing this about. It only gets in the way. Among those who belong to Christ, everything connected with getting our own way and mindlessly responding to what everyone else calls necessities is killed off for good. It's crucified. We crucify those things. We shut them down as they're coming. So I just want to end with, if you're studying with delaying gratification and you feel that there's no way you can resist temptation, I have a question for you. Here's where the coaching comes in. If we were one-on-one, we would really dig into this. What are you afraid of? What are you afraid of missing out on if you delay gratification? My lovely dog. Fear can show up in so many ways, as anger, anxiety, frustration. These are indicators. They're symptoms. Ask yourself, when did I start worrying about this? How would your life change if you never worried about this again? If it was settled in your mind? These are all questions I want you to explore. And then the last is, do you need to let go of something? Is there something you need to forgive? Is there something you need to accept? Maybe a person or a situation that you need to separate yourself from. Dig into these things. They could answer why you're struggling so much to delay gratification. Maybe it's a fear. Maybe it's something that you feel that need to instantly gratify because you need comfort in the moment when you have a temptation. So really explore that. Okay. And then this one, I really wanted you guys to talk about your testimonies too. So I had a few people send me some things and I'm just going to share you because they said, I can't make it, but I want to share, and I want people to know what's been happening for me. And they said, I haven't gone completely off sugar or grain, but instead have focused more on being intentional with the things I've eaten. I've been doing great at avoiding processed snacks and foods like at gas stations and things like that. And I've been trying to better match this with my menstrual cycles with foods that sustain my body. And I've been feeling the results of that effort. I'm not sure if I'll ever be able to go completely sugar or grain free, which is okay. None of you have to decide that anyways. But she said, I am loving the fact that fast food and ultra processed foods don't appeal to me anymore. It's refreshing to not feel so tired and bloated all the time. So I appreciate them for sharing that anonymously. They wanted me to. And then another one was they just said, she said a lot of things, but the one thing I wanted to share was that as I take it one day at a time, it is getting easier. So I love that. And, I would love to, if either of you guys, I know Denise and Shonda are in the group right now, and if you would love to would like to share, Shonda, I know that you had mentioned that you might be willing to share. So what are your thoughts on this, and how has this journey been for you?
Hi, Sue. Yes, this journey has been fabulous, and I'm so grateful for this group coming across this because it came at the right time. I am now, today's the 21st at the time of this recording. So I'm 20 days into this. I started on the 1st, and I am stronger because, for an example, last night we went out as a family to Chili's with our son, daughter-in-law, and little baby, and my husband and I. And my son ordered a meal that came with chips and salsa. And guess where they sat that bowl of chips and salsa? Right in front of me. Well, Friday nights has been, and you can ask any of my local friends, what does Shonda do on Friday nights? It's Mexican food night. Well, not last night. I did not have chips and salsa. It sat right in front of me. And you know what? I looked at that and I said, that food doesn't serve me. And that will not help me. So I practiced that delayed gratification without knowing what it was. Now I know it was like I delayed that gratification for a future benefit to myself. So I did not dive into those chips and salsa, and I was fine. My husband and I, we decided to split a burger without the bun. We cut that in half and we each had a side salad. And I was fine, and my husband did the same thing. And so I'm glad that he joined me. So that was helpful, but I would have done it on my own, even if he hadn't have done that. And so I feel great. Now I was thinking about, well, today we're talking about going to the fair, and the fair is here, fall is coming, the fair is here. Well, what do I associate with the fair? I don't know what y'all like to eat at the fair, but it's always been funnel cake.
Oh, yeah.
All right. But I'm like, nope, not this time. I'm going to create new memories, and I'm going to enjoy going and looking at the animals with my granddaughter. I'm just going to enjoy that and be satisfied and gratified with that, and not a funnel cake. So I'm going to create new memories of going to the fair, and it's not going to be associated with funnel cake. So anyway,
Great.
so I've decided that ahead of time. And so this teaching coming right on time before a fair came very beneficial. So thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And that I actually thought of the fair because I was thinking about how we connect foods with activities like that. With the fair, of course, what do you think about? There's several things that I used to like to enjoy at the fair. And even the season of fall, we right away want to think pumpkin spice, apple cinnamon, that kind of thing. And I will say that I think it was last year, and I had been on this journey for a couple years, but I was really, for some reason, I had all the fall feels. I wanted to enjoy fall food. And so I thought, you know what? Then I made these little Dutch apple pie things, and I enjoyed them, but I got so sick. And I think it's because I had not eaten like that in so long that I'm done. I'll never do that again because it brought such a negative feeling, and it was awful. And so I was kind of like, okay, great. I've made new memories. But what I like what you said about the fair is not only are you saying no to the foods, but you're saying yes to the connection and the other things that you're going to enjoy, the connection with your granddaughter, seeing the animals. And that's the thing we have to do to stay successful is we have to replace that desire for gratification with something else, and there has to be something else we think about. And I've like being out with friends, I think, okay, I'm gonna focus on getting that connection, that oxytocin, that serotonin, instead of the dopamine hit from the food. And it's really cool how it changed my mindset then to where I appreciate the people in my life better, because when you think about it, it was like I was just using and wanting to be around people while I was using, that drug for pleasure. So, I mean, it's really fascinating, this journey is, when you think about it.
Well, it is. And then also the other thing I thought about was if I eat that, I mean, because a funnel cake is nothing but pure sugar, basically, just covered with
The
that.
oil would be probably worse for me than any of it.
So the oil and the powdered sugar and how much that would set me back. I know it would take me a week to recover from that. And I don't want to be delayed a week right now for a moment of gratification. It would take a week to get that out of my system.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, no,
But
I don't
it's
want to
that
be
forward, that future thinking, that that
right, because I don't want to be delayed a week. I've already made so much progress 20 days into this. I don't want to delay that progress and start over. I don't want another day one. I'm ready to stay. Hey, I'm on day 20. I'm ready to do that. So,
And I'm going to talk real quick to the people then who have done that, who have been doing great, and then they do have something that gets them off track. I want to change that narrative for them and say, you're not starting over, you're starting again. Because think of how much farther you are down the road, how much you've learned. You're not starting back at day one, you're starting again. But I get the whole idea behind day one. I understand what you mean because you were stacking days. But I want us to think about it in a way that, because it's, for me, it's easier to get back on the wagon when I think of it that way, that, you know what, I have a lot of wisdom behind me that I've learned. And maybe even the way that made me feel, I learned even more. So I'm starting again. And
yes,
it's not like you're starting bottom. You're starting higher because you've come so far. So I just want to encourage people too who are in that place,
absolutely. Because I've been that person
Yes, me too.
this whole year
Yeah.
until September 1. I've been that person who started and then started again and then started again and started again. And so this is my start again, but this is the time I'm really focusing on following through by having a support network. That's one of the things I was missing, was having the support network, retraining, going through the information, going through the books that you've recommended, having the training, having the why in front of me. So all these tools that you're equipping us with, I wasn't utilizing all those. I was just trying to do it without the equipping. And that is important. So when we start again, let's be equipped. So,
Amen. And have each
yeah.
other and know we're not alone in this.
Yes.
Denise, I saw you unmuted. Do you have anything you wanted to share?
I didn't know I unmuted.
Oh, okay. You don't have to. It's fine. I just wanted to make
No, I just always, I always love how you put all this stuff together because you just bring what you're teaching helps with life. There's so much life advice and just in what you're saying about eating and what Shonda brought up some great points too, where she said she didn't start where she knows she now has the tools in which to start again. It's not starting over. And also, I'm so proud of you for getting a hamburger with no bun. It took me forever to order it like that. And it's so good.
That's cute. Thank you. Yeah, exactly.
Well, it helped that it had guacamole on it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's
That
Yeah.
makes all the difference in the world.
that's how I eat all the time when, we go to pubs or, different places like that. I'm always getting a hamburger with a side salad. That's my go-to now. Sometimes I'll get a chicken Caesar salad, but I really like, I know how good and nutritious red meat is for us, so I really try to focus on that. I do though, I get salmon when I go out to a nicer restaurant, usually because my husband doesn't like the smell of fish, so I can't cook it at home.
Oh,
So
you can grill it outside.
yeah, it's true. I could, but I usually use that as an excuse to get it when we go out. So, all right. Well, I just want to, I guess, wrap up with the fact that we are already on the 21st of September, and I'm so excited for all of you watching this video that you have been sticking with it at one level or another. I don't care if you are fully sugar-free or if you are just still in the learning process through this class, through this month. That's okay. I did a lot of learning before I actually went off sugar. Like, I really wanted to get myself understanding. So, sorry, I don't mean to keep you on there. I think it's my, we'll just do that. But I also wanted to invite you to October. I am going to do an extension of what we're doing now, but it's going to be a little more intense, a little bit deeper. And the information for that will be in our group about, and that will involve some group coaching and personalized coaching also. So it'll be more of an intense, more personalized. I plan to have more communication individually with everyone through that group too. So watch for that information for our third, and it'll be on Thursdays. I'll have a morning Zoom and then an evening Zoom. And if you want to go to both, you could go to both. That would be great. So anyways, watch for that information. And with that, I hope everybody has a great day and we'll talk again soon. Thanks for showing up, you guys.